and tonight we are going to do an introduction to what the boot camp is going to be all about, and we're going to go into step one, and that is all about buying an age domain. As you know, we have 7 steps in our magic formula, so we're going to go into detail with step 1 tonight. And we are going to take questions because we are indeed live. And if you've noticed in the handouts, I have placed 3 process maps in the handouts. And when we go through the presentation, I'm going to talk about the process map that is on the screen, but I want you to be able to download them so you can see them a little bit better. And then, of course, they will be available in the members area after we post this in the members area. Also, I want to suggest that we keep the questions about these steps in the forum that is labeled, Intermediate Bootcamp and under Step 1, because I think it may confuse the beginners if we do that in Facebook or anywhere else. So my job will be to really monitor the forums for that and for your questions, and so hopefully everybody who is doing the Intermediate Bootcamp will go towards the forum instead of Facebook with the questions about the certain things that we do on here.
Now, I want to jump in before you really get into things, Dor, because we've already got some people asking questions, and everybody's telling you, awesome, did you get a new computer? So people are being playful with you. But we did have a couple of people, hi, Miss Fluoride, what's going on? I just want you guys to know that where you actually see the handouts, Dory kind of talked about it really quickly, but on the right, when you logged in, there should be a place, maybe right below where you would send a question, that is a place that you should see handouts, and you should be able to see them. If you don't see them, type "don't see" in there, and I'll deal with it at the end. But for right now, that's where you should see them, okay? Dor, take it away.
Okay, awesome. And no, I have not gotten a new computer yet. I have just Jimmy rigged another monitor to my computer. So my computer actually works. I just can't see anything on that computer, so I added an additional monitor. The problem with this monitor is that it's it's an old Dell, and it's kind of grainy and stuff. But that's the workaround for today, and it's working much better than the workaround I tried to do last night, which was use my laptop, and then my laptop didn't work, and then my friend's laptop. It was just comedic. So anyway, this weekend I'll be going out and getting a new computer. PDF shows buy a Mac. Dory, Clint? Would you think I would buy anything else but a Mac? My computer is a Macintosh, a Mac. I'm saying Macintosh, and that really dates me. It is a Mac. I just have this old Dell screen it was just sitting in the corner, so I just thought, oh, I can just plug it into my Mac. But yes, of course, I will buy a Mac, not Macintosh anymore. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm going to stay out. I'm looking at the questions, and so I'm going to stay out of the questions.
Yeah.
So you can do that. But I did see somebody.
Get busy with this, man.
Yeah, somebody with the name of Dory O'Neill. Is that really your name? Spelled the same way as mine?
Yeah, it is. I've seen her in here before when I did mine too.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I rarely ever see that. Okay, let's get into the presentation. And hi, Dory, from Dory. So what's coming up today? I'm going to introduce you to the 7 steps that you've probably been introduced before, and then we're going to go into step 1. And that's buying an age domain, and why we do this, where we do this, and how we do this. And I have the presentation that's in PowerPoint. It's kind of short, and then we're going to go live on the internet, and we're going to look at some domains to go purchase. I'm actually going to look for one that will be really a kick-butt domain to beat Jeff Fellini and his launch jacking thing. So we'll see what we can find. So here is the first process map, and this is going to be something that's going to be in the members area, and this is also something that you can download in the handouts. And basically what it goes over is the 7 steps. Buy an old domain, create social profiles for it, and then choose your keywords, study your competition, create a baseline, develop your pages, so that's on-site SEO, and then get links, and that's your off-site SEO. And that is what that process map is all about. And today we are going to go into step 1 and buying an old domain. And this is really something that I actually love to do. Some people don't like to do it. I really, really, really like doing it. It's fun. It's like finding a needle in a haystack. So step one, buying an aged domain. So why? Is it really necessary? Well, it's not necessary if you have a branded site already. I mean, we're going to show you what you can do to give your branded site a jump start by buying an aged domain. And that's going to be process A, I believe, in what we're going to show you. But you know, it's let me go through this. It gives you what it does is give you a jump start. So it's already going to have age, it's already going to have backlinks, and you know that builds authority. So we like authority. Google likes authority. So it's like you can use with a new domain, or you can start your SEO campaigns like this. So, that's what the difference is. When you purchase an aged domain, that's a good aged domain that somebody else has already done a lot of the heavy lifting, gotten links, gotten trust, gotten authority, all that kind of stuff. So that's why we do it. And there's actually three different reasons why we buy them. Of course, it jumpstarts everything, and this is the process map that we go through it. And this is buying an aged domain for a money site. So I give two examples of why you would buy an aged domain for your money site. One example is if you already have a branded site, say, Ann already has Seal Beach SEO. She chose a new domain, and she chose to do an exact match domain. So what I would recommend to her is, A, when you already have a branded site, you're going to go look for a site that has age and trust, and then you're going to do a 301 redirect to that site, and that passes the juice. So path B is where you don't have a money site already, and this really works well with launch jacking and affiliate marketing, things like that. And that's already going to give me all of that good stuff. So I think I go in this presentation. So path A, if you already have a money site, and we call our main site a money site. That's kind of a typical internet marketing term. So I'm going to look for, aged domains with trust. Now, other people can talk about domain authority and page authority, and that's SEO Moz's, which is now known as Moz. That's their criteria, and I've never used them as a barometer. I've always used Majestic SEO, now known as Majestic. As you can tell, everybody's taking their SEO parts off their domains, but always been my barometer. So you're going to hear me, and in my tutorials, always talk about trust, and I'm not ever going to talk about domain authority because it's just not my barometer. But you can hear about it. Like if you, I know other courses that they talk about that, and they don't talk about trust as much. And good. It just depends on what barometer. And this is what I've created for my barometer. So just so you know that I'm not ignoring Moz's stuff. It is very useful if that is what you're looking at. So I just look at trust. So if you already have a money site, you look for an aged domain with trust, and then you do a 301 redirect, and that passes the juice. And if you want, you could actually, do 3 of those. I would not do any more than 3 of those. There is probably a little bit of controversy since, Panda and Penguin came out that if that still even works. I believe it does in the reverse engineering that I do on sites, and I see a lot of that still going on. That's still very powerful. I believe you may get somebody say, "Oh, she's full shit," that doesn't work anymore. I believe that it still does, and until somebody can really prove me wrong and that it hurts, then I'm still going to do that. So I just want to put that little caveat there. SEO, everything always changes, and us SEOs, we barely can agree. Like the funny thing. And there's a lot of things that work. Like there's a lot of different ways to skin the cat. This is the way I do it. So I do a 301 redirect, and I will have a video in the members area on how to do that 301 redirect for you guys who might be a little bit newer or intermediate, because that's kind of a technical thing. It's really easy, though. It just kind of sounds like a rocket science term, but it's not, believe me. And again, I would not do any more than 3 of these. If you do more than that, then Google's definitely going to say, hey, this is getting to be spammy and SEO-y. And I've actually seen people do a lot of it and get away with it, but it seems like they only get away with it for a certain amount of time. So that's why I would say, best practice 1 to 3. So that's path A. If you already have a money site, you look for an age domain with with trust, just to pass on that juice, which is going to help your site. So path B would be to use it as a money site. And again, you're just going to look for a site that has age and trust, and use it as your money site. This is really, really great for launch jacking, affiliate marketing, things like that, if you don't necessarily have to have a brand. So like, Jeff Linney, when he does his launch jacking, and I'm going to talk about that since it's a module that's already been released, in his launch jacking, he uses his site, jefflinney.com, and he has purchased actually really good links coming into that site, and it made his own site an authority site. And that's really, really great. He put a lot of effort into that. A lot of people do that for different reasons. Say there's a political campaign going on, and people have a lot of different links coming into their site, a lot of powerful links, and that political campaign goes away, and then that domain expires, then all of a sudden that would be a perfect domain for me to come up and buy, and because it already has all that heavy work done, the stuff that Jeff has done to his own site. He didn't get his site to be an authoritative site overnight, but you can buy an authority site overnight. That's why that's really good. And when I go toe-to-toe,
I'm going to interrupt you here because you talk really fast. And for those of you who just might have missed it, she said political site. And she was giving an example of a site that may come and have a lot of authority really quick, and then they let the site die. Maybe the candidate didn't win, etc. But it has a lot of juice from the beginning. I just wanted to say that, Dory, because sometimes you get on a roll and you talk so fast that it went over my head a little bit, because you said, well, like, they're not going to know what you were talking about. So slow your roll, baby. Slow your roll.
Okay. I'll try to slow down a little bit. Yeah, another great thing would be like a radio station. I know the people that have looked for that, different talk shows, newspapers, all kinds of different things that may be about multiple topics. But then again, if you're in a specific topic and you're wanting to teach dog training, then maybe this wouldn't be the best approach. You may find a domain in that market, and believe me, there's a lot of domains that are expiring, and you could probably find that. And I'm going to give you my broker's name in just a second, and you can let him do the digging, and it doesn't cost very much for him to go and dig through sites that have dropped, but they still have really good links coming into them. And I wonder if I should talk about that a little bit, because I use both. I'm going to wait, because I'm going to go through the GoDaddy expiration process and explain there's 2 different things that give site age. And the Whois database is one, and then the archive.org is another, the one that we're going to go into in just a second. But use as a money site, so it's that, something like that for political, old sites that are just used and that they let go. Great for those kind of things. So you go for the gusto, of course, and you can buy additional domains that don't have anything to do with whatever you're doing, and just do 301 redirects to it, just like we did in Path B. So I hope that makes sense. So where to go get these age domains? I typically go to the auctions, and GoDaddy is my personal favorite, and I'm going to give you reasons why it is. First of all, let me go through the other ones, though. The domains do not drop the Whois data, the age. So when you do a Whois check, when you buy them from GoDaddy, that age is still retained. So I can buy a site that somebody bought in like 2001, or heaven forbid in the 90s, and it has let go of. When I buy it through GoDaddy and GoDaddy's auction, that age stays there, so it looks like it hasn't dropped at all, and that's pretty important. So that's one of the reasons why I like GoDaddy so much. The other reason is that it is a true auction site. I mean, their domains start at $12, but they can go up, of course, to thousands of dollars. But the other ones, like these guys right here, NameJet, Snap, Pool, Dynadot, Afternic, I don't know, Phoenix, Fabulous, they all start at $69. So unless you're going to get a really, really great thing, I would stick with GoDaddy. And I would go with GoDaddy even if you're practicing and stuff, because it's just cheaper. And another problem with a lot of these other ones is that if you're buying a lot of them, they will put them in blog network, and you had 100 sites, and they were all in different registrars or at different registrars. That is an administrative nightmare. Believe me, I've dealt with it. So that's another reason why I kind of stick to GoDaddy. So you can also go to a broker, and here is my broker. So you either look for them or you have someone else look for them. And here's my broker, SEMimpact.com, and my page is Nitro. I am talking to him, so if you buy through me, I don't get the affiliate commission. It goes straight back to you. In other words, it'll be 50% off. So he has a system that doesn't purchase sites with age. They've already dropped, but they're still powerful because they have the links coming into them. So this is still a viable solution.
I want to say thank you because, a lot of times when people do pitches and they sell courses like that and they give out a secret, they leave their affiliate link so they can make extra money when somebody buys something. And I just want to tell you thank you for giving that to all of our students and, being transparent about that so that they get the 50% off. I just want to say thanks for that. That's really cool of you.
You're welcome. Yeah, I want everybody to be able to get it for as little as possible so they can get going and get making money. So yeah. But let me go into why sites that have dropped. And what I mean by dropped, it means that they've gone through the expiration process and they've dropped into the public domain so anybody can register them again. And since there's so many domains that go out there, a lot of them get missed. So this guy was a pretty brilliant idea, came up with a system that he goes to sites like CNN.com, Wikipedias and things like that, and he spiders them, and he looks for sites that they link to. And then he'll get a list of those sites. Then he checks to see if they're registered or not, and if they're not registered, then he goes further and checks all the stats that we look for, like age, trust, domain authority, page authority, whatever metrics that you're looking for. And then from there, and then he categorizes them into different markets. So he has thousands of domains that if you said, okay, I want a domain in the dog training niche, he would probably be able to pick you up one. Now, that would be, the history from that would then come from archive.org that we'll look at in a little bit, not who is. So, and there's SEOs, and we will argue which has more impact, which has more weight, what does Google look at? Well, really, none of us really know. So I like to have it both. I like it when a site is in archive.org and still retains their who is database information. But anyway, this is still a great option. Sites are very powerful, really good for personal blog networks, and you can get them it just let people, let having somebody else do it, because I know some people hate doing this. Unlike me, who is the introvert, who loves doing this, because I just get to put my head in my computer. So
hey,
now,
Dor, some people have already clicked on that link, and the link isn't there. So just so that everybody can hear when you go, for whatever reason, we'll check that out and we'll post that again.
Okay, I actually did check that out before I pasted it, so I'm surprised that it's
Unless there's a
Not working.
misspell, semimpact.com/nitro.
Let me end show. I'm pretty sure SEM impact. Yep.
It says up at the top.
Let me put that in here. Chat to everybody. Oh, there's probably.
I think what the deal is that maybe it's HTTPS.
Yep. Okay, I just put that back in there.
Okay.
So we'll go back to the show. Okay, so we talked about that and the broker and the different places where you can get domains. Let's look at the GoDaddy process. Now, GoDaddy has a kind of an interesting process, and this is a process map that you can download from the handout area. And when somebody registers a domain and it goes up for expiration, GoDaddy's actually going to do their best to get a hold of you to renew that domain. I mean, they want you to renew that domain. So they go 90 days, 60 days, 30 days, 15 days, 10 days. Every single one of those dates, they send you an email to try to renew your domain, 5 days. And then when it comes to 5 days, they send you an email every single day until it expires. Once it expires, it goes into something that's called redemption. And that's an ICANN thing, and ICANN is the super huge over all domains over the whole internet. So that's not a GoDaddy thing. This is a, it's like the government or something. I don't know. It's huge. And at that point, it takes an owner to pay $80 to get it out of redemption. So they just can't go and renew it anymore. They have to pay $80 to get it out of redemption. But during this time, it goes through a time, it's going to stay in redemption for a while before it drops into the public. And that would be number 5, where it actually drops into the public and anybody can grab them. And that's where the other sites like Namejet and Snap and Pool, that's where they go to buy their sites. And when it drops, they have these supercomputer systems that, if you pre-order a domain, it goes out and it tries to grab it from the other person. So if you do it that way, I typically will order it at all, at 3 different ones to make sure that you get it. but that's what happens. So that's where the other guys put their domains, get their domains. Because they're the biggest ones, the biggest registrar out there, they have their own internal auction process, and this is how it goes. First, it goes into the expired auctions, and there it's going to be there for 8 to 10 days, and it's weird because sometimes I'll see, it comes up and then it'll go down, like it's not a certain amount. I would say 8 to 10 days, and it's never been less than a week that I've seen. And I don't know what that depends on. I actually don't know, but it does go in there. Let's just say 8 to 9 days. And this is all during the time it's in redemption. So you can put a bid on it, and everybody can put bids on it, and then the highest bidder gets it. So you're the highest bidder and you win the auction. You actually don't get the domain yet until it's out of the redemption period. Because once it's out of the redemption period, then because during redemption, that other owner can still come back and get it. It doesn't happen very often, but it does happen. And then they'll say, "Oh, sorry, that domain wasn't available after all." So it happens, but not very often. Once, if nobody bid on that, and for $12 or more, it goes into something called the closeout section. And the closeout, it goes and it starts at $12, and then every 24 hours it goes and it decreases by $1 until it goes to $8. And at that point, it stays at $8 for a day, and then if still nobody buys it, it goes into the bargain bin. And then you can get the domain for $5 when it's in the bargain bin, and it only stays there for 24 hours. So then it drops into the public. So it would go up to number 5. So let's talk about number 4, though, GoDaddy's back orders. You may have backorder domain, a domain that you wanted to see if, if it's dropped. You think that if it expires, it would go immediately to you. It doesn't. It's actually just a waste of your money. Unless somebody doesn't buy it through the 3 auction things that it can go through. It goes through that, and anybody can buy it out from under you, even if you back order it. So it's really not worth doing. And they don't even give you a notice that it's coming, up for expiration, so you can go bid on it. It's just pretty bogus. So anyway, don't back order any domains, because it's all about the expiration, and this is GoDaddy's process through that expiration process, and that's why they can sell them to you before it drops, and that's why the age stays with the domain, because it never leaves their registration database. So the age in the WHOIS database is retained, and that's really, really pretty cool. Okay, so that's, I don't think anybody else actually has that, only at POE. So tools that list expiring domains. So, you can go to GoDaddy and see the list of expiring domains, but we're going to use tools that's going to give us, some criteria about those domains. So I recommend using the following domains to find out what's available. And those tools are going to give you a sort of barometer, so you're going to know how many links are coming into them, how many links from referring domains, the page rank, although we don't look at page rank anymore, but we can still use it as a barometer. And the reason we don't look at page rank anymore because it hasn't been updated in over a year, so it's not real important anymore. Although when I search for sites, I'm like, well, if it was a page rank of 4 a year ago, it still might have some good authority. So I can use that as a barometer when I'm searching for sites. My personal favorite, and it has been since 2007, is FreshDrop. Now, before FreshDrop came, I had a program that did pretty much what FreshDrop did. They ended up doing it better than me, so I stopped production on my tool and just started using FreshDrop. Now, there's other tools. There's registercompass.com. I've tried, it's just not my thing because I've used FreshDrop all these years. So you'll get other SEO people telling you, oh, you got to do it here, you got to do it there. It's 6 in one, half a dozen in the other. It's what that person's been used to using. There's also a free tool called moonsy.com. Here's the let me go paste this in. Let's end the show. I'm going to paste this into the show. Paste that puppy into. Now, this is a site that's kind of, you gotta kind of watch it because since it's free, they have all kinds of advertisements everywhere, and you don't really know which link is going to get you what. Okay, and I pulled up here, I think. Here we go. This is moonsy.com. It's free, but you see all these links up here. Some of them are ads, and some of them are real navigation. So that's what's kind of tricky about it. And they're not pulling up, the hundreds of thousands that the other ones are. Here they have 7,790 right now in the GoDaddy auction, but it's, for you guys that, and I don't use it, so I can't really do a demo on it. I just want to let you know that it's here. FreshDrop does cost $19.95 a month. I can try to get an affiliate link and get something done, get a deal on that because I've been using it for so long. He might be able to do that. But until then, you can check out Moonsy and see what you can find using this. And perhaps I could, I might be able to find somebody who uses this consistently to do a demo on it. So I just don't because that's not what I use and haven't been since 2007 when FreshDrop came about. So tools to find them. We go back again, FreshDrop, and then Moonsy. So here's FreshDrop's old interface. If you go to FreshDrop.com, it's going to look a little bit different. I typically use FreshDrop.net because I've not found in FreshDrop.com where I can say I want to go to GoDaddy, or to find these. And in here, you can see where it says expired, and this is the expired auction. This is GoDaddy right here. And then over here, there's the bargains, and that's where you can get the GoDaddy bargains that are listed between $12 and $5. So that I wanted to enlarge this because when we go live, this is going to look really, really small. But they also, you can filter it with, deleting in pool, namejet, snap, and all these. If you were looking for a real authoritative site, you may want to go to some of these because they're not as competitive as GoDaddy is, because they cost, the minimum is $69 just to place a bid. So to get a powerhouse of a site, you might get a better deal over there because it's not as competitive. But anyway, let's go look at FreshDrop again. And this is what I do, and it's pretty much 3 steps. I look for them in FreshDrop for the basic criteria. Then I use my domain audit tool in POE to find the trust. Although I've noticing that a lot of these, like Moonsy, had the trust value, and trust again is from Majestic SEO. Other people use Moz, like I said earlier. I use trust, and that's my barometer. And like I said, I really, anything over 10, trust flow of 10, I really like. And the more referring IPs, the better. So we'll go into that a little bit more once we go live. So make sure they aren't spammy. And you go back to the Wayback Machine to do that, or archive.org. And what we mean by spammy is, we've had a lot of blog networks out there that a lot of people have spammed links to or from. You just want to go back and make sure that it wasn't a blog network. But the thing is, there's a little controversy around this as well, where some people will say, no, you can't use that site. But if it's still in the index, if it's still in Google's index, and it still has a lot of links coming into it and a lot of juice, then I pretty much don't care if once it was used as a blog network. If that is gone and it still has juice coming into it, and to me it still makes sense. But you will hear from others that it won't make sense whatsoever, and to never do that. So I'm going to go both ways with you, and you can make your own decision. Of course, SEO is it's kind of a science, but it's a lot of art too. So let's go. We're going to go do a demo. Let's get out of the show, and let's go to FreshDrop. Now this is FreshDrop.com, and this is their new interface.
Hey, buddy, we're not with you there just yet.
Oh, okay.
There we go. We're seeing FreshDrop.com.
Okay, awesome. So FreshDrop.com, and this is where you can put in a lot of your criteria up here. Although you have to click here to see where the site's from. And here I see that the feed's coming from Dynadot. And for me, I like going to GoDaddy. So unless I am mistaken, there's no way to filter that in the .com version. Now, if somebody knows how to do that, why don't you put that into the chat? Because I am certainly not the expert on each individual interface, especially when they change. And until we do that, I'm going to go over to FreshDrop.net, which is the interface I have used. Actually, this is actually not the one that they started out with in 2007. It is, but it's the last one. He keeps changing his interface. You get used to one, and yeah.
Dory, sorry. I know you're on a roll, bud, but they can see your whole screen, but this isn't covering the whole screen, so it's super small. And we have some people asking if you can fill your screen and maybe just make it zoom in a little bit.
Okay, if I do this, wait. Okay. How's that?
Can you hit Command plus or something and try?
Yeah, I did that 4 times. It
you
probably
did?
just delaying.
Oh, that's so much better.
Okay. So what I won't be able to do is, because I wanted to scroll through these things, which I guess that there is a little bit of delay, so I'll go real slow here. So this is the interface that I'm used to using, and so it's going to be the one that I'm going to do the demo on. And we're going to go look for some sites and look and see if they're spammy and see if I can find a site where I can beat Jeff Linney in launch jacking. Because I'm actually going to do two sites. I'm going to do my own site, doryfriend.com, and start linking to that and get a lot of authority. And then I'm going to buy a site and use for some launch jacking stuff too. So, okay, so I've gone to the expired area for GoDaddy because that's probably where I'm going to find some good sites. You guys are following me here. I'm going to go over to the right-hand side of FreshDrop where you see search options. And here they have domain criteria. And I'm going to click that. I'm going to bring this up. And I'm going to put in, let's say, age, 5 years. And this is where it kind of gets fun for me because you can filter it for different things. But these are the things that I typically filter for. And I'm going to do 5 years just because I think 5 years is pretty good. I would love to have 10 years, but I don't think it's going to bring me back as much stuff. Now, typically, I would put 100 in here. And I think I did this right before we came. And, of course, I want it to be indexed. So I want one indexed in Google index pages. So these are the only 3 things I really do. Well, actually, that's not true. I'll put age. I may want a barometer. Let's do PageRank 4, even though PageRank doesn't mean anything anymore, so it doesn't matter. And then I will do Google index pages. I'll always put a 1 in there. Although the caveat is, if you use my broker and the domain has dropped into the public, it may not be indexed when you get it from him, and that's just because it's no longer up, so Google doesn't have it in the index, and those typically get re-indexed right away. And these do too sometimes, although I like to have my sites already indexed, so that's just me. So I don't really pay attention to Majestic SEO backlinks. I guess I could, but what I really want is Majestic C-class IPs. Now this is actually how many sites from different servers are raising their hands voting for your site. This is I want links from different servers, not the same server. So I don't care if it has 12,000 backlinks. Only 1 or 2 sites, it's not going to have the juice that 12,000 backlinks would have coming from 100 sites or 1,000 sites or, heaven forbid, 12,000 sites. So this is the kind of stuff that I search on, and then that's it. And then I'm going to click search. And believe it or not, it only came up with 4. Now, this is very, very unusual. It usually comes up with a lot more. Happen over and over again in FreshDrop through the years. It's a snafu type of thing, a bug that's not pulling their whole database, and usually by tomorrow or the next day it's fixed. And it just happens that today is the day that I'm doing the live webinar where it looks like their feed is having a bug and not pulling in a lot of domains. And that's why I chose the age of 5 instead of 10, because there was nothing that came up with 10 years. And usually there's a lot, it's just a ton of stuff. So anyway, you can see here the age. These are pink. The Google PageRank. This just gives me a little bit of barometer. Google index pages, that the site is good and live, and the Majestic IPs. And so these are really, really good sites. So I am going to copy these sites and put them into a notepad. And I'm going to go over to, because this particular interface does not show me trust flow. So I want to see what the trust is in these sites, and that's really what's going to tell me if it's a good site and if I should buy it or not, or even look further. So let's do all of them because they all look, who cares what the domain is. Actually, Quit Now Hawaii. I don't know if I was in a travel thing. Maybe that'd be good. None of them look really spammy, but we'll go see. But like I said, I don't really care about that. This one looks really good. Alan Phillips Productions. Now that's a real business. This guy's, probably went out of business or whatever. Changed his name, That would be a good site. Good site if it's good. Let's go over to Page One Engine and sign in. Copy that. Page One Engine. And let's go to Anne. Let's go to Julie since it's not coming up for Anne's account. It's funny, I don't have my own account in the front end. I have it in the back end. Okay, so I'm going to go over to the Tools section. And it's loading up here. Might take a second or so. We're working on speeding this up. And of course, we have our how to use the tools videos right there. So I'm going to go to Domain Audit. I'm going to look into these sites a little bit more. And I'm going to paste these sites here, and I'm going to click on this so I can get my information. Show me what the trust flow is. And I already know the age and stuff, so I'm just kind of really wanting to know what the trust flow. Now, and some other metrics, and you can get other metrics at when you use link density as well, and you can really dive deep into it, which is going to be we're not going to be able to do that in this hour presentation, but we're pulling most of our information from Majestic SEO. We also pull from Moz, so we're pulling it so you don't have to get an account there. That's part of what the membership entails. Although this is for a personal use, I just want to say if you're an agency or something like that, then we're going to have to talk because we're paying for these credits, and of course you could use up credits really fast. This just takes. And while this is going, I know that we're speeding this up. We're working on speeding up this. So is there any questions I can answer while this is on?
You ready for this?
Uh-huh.
Well, a lot of people in the very beginning were asking about the 301 redirect. So for those who didn't catch that, Dory did say that she's going to do a little video on it. But do you want to even touch that question, Dory? About 5 people asked it.
Well, you can
I think it'd be better just to explain what it is and then show it in the video later.
Now, what we have here is all the domains that we've used, and I've just asked for this not to show up like this because it's in alphabetical order, and so we're going to be changing this. So let me look for the sites that I just used. I just searched for, and let's make this a lot bigger. And this is the reason why we don't want all the results on the same page. Okay, let's go and look for this guy. So this is going to change. And so you're only going to see your results from the sites that you search for, and then you can archive, if you want to keep those sites. So here, phpanywhere.net, that's probably a good domain. It says it's unavailable because, of course, GoDaddy still owns it. And these are GoDaddy's domain name servers. So let's see here. I got to scroll up here now to see where my trust flow is. Okay, the trust flow is the second one over, so that's the one I'm looking for. So a trust flow is 16, and that's just probably pretty small for you guys. Let's get that up there. So this is the number right here, the trust flow of 16. And I think how many backlinks it is. EBLs, and EBL?
Exact backlink.
Exact backlink?
Yeah. I'm looking at it. I'm trying to see on your screen, buddy. It's not, oh, I see. Yeah, I'm sorry, external backlinks.
External backlink. Okay, I would have just put BL. That's why I was like, EBL? External backlink. So, okay, so these are the links coming in to the site. And I've got to scroll up again to see so we'll tell you if it has educational backlinks, government backlinks. This is, and here's the DA and PA for if you are if you're a Moz person and that is your barometer. We cover that. I'm just saying trust flow is my barometer. So we got the DA and PA for all you got Moz guys out there. So basically, we're pulling this information from Majestic SEO, and so let me get back down to that site. So this site is actually, with a trust flow of 16 and a citation of 18, that's really pretty good. Now, if it's had a trust flow of 16 and a citation flow of like 30, then it would tell me that there's a lot more links coming in than it needs to be to get that trust flow up there. So that's decent. A really good trust flow would be in the 20s. Something that you'll barely ever find is in the 30s. And I don't think I've ever seen one in the 40s or 50s up for sale, just to use that as a barometer. So there's that. So that would be a possible purchase, especially maybe not for my main domain that I want to use for my launch jacking, but for a PBN, or maybe if I did have, actually an SEO company, phpanywhere.net would be a perfect domain to do a 301 redirect, or just let's cut out the 301 because that just tells Google it's a permanent redirect. A 302 is a temporary redirect. So let's just cut out that, and it's just a redirect. And you can do that at GoDaddy.com, your registrar, and it's domain forwarding, and that is a registrar redirect. You can also do it in a .htaccess file, which is probably over a lot of people's heads. And then there's some other stuff that you can do. So I typically just do the forwarding at the registrar. And I do have a video on that. So we're going to go. I'm going to note that this domain is pretty good, and we are going in the Wayback Machine. Quit Now Hawaii, I believe, was on our list, and look at that. It has no trust, so that is a no-go for us. So it doesn't matter how many links it has coming in. If it has a 0, it's a no-go. I wouldn't even buy that site even if I was in Hawaii doing a Hawaii site. No go, no go, no go. So let's see what else we got here. Quit Now Hawaii. Let's look. Oh yeah, this site that I liked. I'm going to put that in here so I can find it. There it is, way at the top, and now I can see my things. Oh, here's another one that has a trust flow of 0. So for me, that's a no-go. That tells me no. Although you guys who say, I don't know, Moz says it's 26, and I hear 26 is pretty good. But for me, I probably would not buy it.
Yeah.
That's just me. Somebody else may say, hey, well, Moz thinks it's pretty good, so go ahead. And I'm just saying that this is my barometer and my personal barometer. Everybody has their own. And that's why, we buy all kinds of different sites. We look for them different ways. You try to be as creative as you can. And let's push. Oh, this one didn't come in. Maybe it's on the second page. There we go. And this, too, has no trust flow. So that's kind of unfortunate. So I am going to stuff was on this site. So, okay, Wayback Machine, you can see it's right there. It's been pretty cool. I mean, they've been archiving the internet since the internet was almost incepted. I think way back since 2001, although the internet's been, incepted in the 90s, early 90s. But now it's really cool. Look at the history of a site and what the site looks like. And we can see that the site has been in operation since 2008. So let's go back and see what it looks like.
Wait, we're waiting for you. There it is. It just came up.
Okay. So you might have seen me just click on 208. And I'm now going to scroll down to, there's these little blue guys. and that snapshot of those pages. And I'm just going to arbitrarily, randomly click on one, and I'm going to see what that site looks like. And it's coming up. Well, it's not coming up yet. My internet's going. Oh, and it is. It's a good-looking.
Wait, we're waiting. We're waiting. It's not here yet. It's not here.
Oh, it's a real site. Now, this is where it started. I am going to go look, and I am going to go see what it was maybe last year. But what I'm seeing right now for August 10th of 2008, it is ugly. It's great. I love ugly sites that are real sites. I mean, here it is, beta, phpanywhere.com. That was their beta, syntax highlight. I mean, it's all about programming. Awesome. And if anybody had any type of internet company, this would be an awesome site to use in a personal blog network or to do a redirect, to their money site. Say, I would do that to doryfriend.com because I talk about websites and all that kind of stuff. It's a perfect site, so I'm probably going to buy this. But let's go back and let's see what it looked like in 2015 in April. Seems like a shot there. Hopefully, make it a spammy site. Go into a blog network or something. Oh, bummer, they don't have it there. Oh, what happened? This machine serves this file as down. We're working on it. Okay, so I'm going to hit backspace. I know you guys are probably down a little bit. Huh. I am. It keeps returning me here. So let's just go to the latest page here. December 18th. It keeps giving me an error. Now, come on, Wayback Machine. I'm on a live demo. Show all. Okay, I'm going to go to 2014. Okay, I was able to click into that, and let's go to July 4th. And it's pulling it up. This page is unavailable on the internet. It doesn't have this page archived, even though they said that they did. Okay, let's go. This happens sometimes. This is why sometimes people get tired of looking for sites and they will just have somebody else do it. I love doing this. Let's look at December 18th at this little one down here. Come on, cross our fingers. Hopefully it'll show us what the site looks like. No. Okay, I'm going to try go. Now this could be the machine serves, I don't know if it's the files down or what. Let's go to 2013 and see what they have there. This could be a Wayback Machine issue, or, like it's just not working today. You know what? It says right here, server maintenance in progress. Isn't that our luck? Fresh drop, not doing well, and archive.org. I guess everybody's on vacation. It's the end of July. I don't know. That's really strange. Murphy's Law at play again. But I think you get the idea, and at least we got to see what it looked like in 2008. And in 2008, it was a great site. So there's still a lot of great links, coming into it. Now, I could even go into link density. Let's see. We're going to take this just a little bit further. Let's go back into POE, and let's go see what kind of links are coming into it. And this is also what people would do to look for, if you had spammy links coming into it. Like, somebody probably wouldn't buy my domain name, doryfriend.com, because somebody spammed me with Viagra links at one point. So as legitimate as a blog that I barely even ever update, it has a lot of Viagra links coming in. And so somebody, another SEO person would say, stay away from that. I typically am okay with that. Okay, that's PHP anywhere. Let's see. Here's a demo that I couldn't do yesterday, and show you for the exact URL. We are going to do it like this, and it's going to show all links to any page on this domain. So we're going to get the whole kit and caboodle here, and we're going to show domain info, and that may take a couple seconds. While that's kicking around, Ann, is there any other questions?
Yeah, actually there are quite a few really good ones.
Okay.
Let's just go really backwards. Devin asked just a minute ago, so having an age domain redirect to your domain will give your domain authority.
Correct.
So Devin, you understand that? You want to talk about it anymore, Dory, or you want me to keep going?
I don't know what else to say about that. I mean, I do know that there's different SEOs that says that, now they say, oh, Google's on to that, they won't do it. But typically, we had Matt Cutt say, unless you're doing it a lot, they do still kind of look at it as a site that maybe you owned previously, and those links go to you. So if you're going to do a 301 redirect, you obviously, I guess this is where it would be important that the domain isn't a spammy domain.
Some people are asking about DMOZ and MOZ. So let me just kind of break this down for you, Dor. Kathy's asking what's a good MOZ spam score, where Somalia is saying is DMOZ important. So I think you should separate what the two are and just kind of give a little overview there.
Okay. DMOZ was Google's directory way back in the day, and it was just where, there were actually people that were human people that would let you into their directory or not, and a link from that was considered really, really good. A link from that still is really, really good, because it's hard, you can't even get them anymore because they don't have the editors. It's not the community that it once was. Now, because of DMOZ, SEO Moz went after, just kind of copied that name and said SEO Moz, like SEO community. DMOZ was a directory community. I don't know where Moz came from, why M-O-Z, what that means really. Maybe maybe it means community and something. But so SEO Moz came after that. They kind of incorporated that name, just like, people copy the I in front of things from Apple. They came up with the iPhone, the iMac, so people like, now there's iWriter, a lot of things like that. That's the difference, and they have nothing to do with each other whatsoever. Okay. So here we are in link density, and we are getting to see all that good stuff, the trust. You could do this individually with domains that you want to purchase, but then, you saw how long it takes because it pulls in a lot more metrics. Total active links are still good, 94%. Deleted or not recently found, that's totally normal. That's actually really low right there. No follow percentage, really low, nice. It's just in the tip of the optimal range there. Active spread per referring domain, that could have been a little bit better. Now, you can see here they have 6,869 links. And those links are coming from 511 referring IPs, 487 C blocks. So if you divide 487 into 6,000 something, what is that? 12, 13, 15%. Actually, it's 13% for 12%. It says right there. So that's a little low because we like that to be a little bit higher, but it still would be a great site. It's not something that I would say no to just because of that. I put the optimal just so you know what you're shooting for. That is not this would for me just because of that. They do have a great, having sites links from 487 different servers. That's phenomenal. That's really great. So this domain looks really healthy here anyway so far, and we can see the C blocks here, duplicate IPs, not very many duplicate IPs. The no follow to do follow ratio looks good. Links to home page, probably a little bit heavier than I like, but because I'm going to buy it and use it as a domain, that I'm going to, and here the text link, the anchor text is actually not correct right now. Anne, you want to make a note of that? Somehow it's showing up the link type. We've been working on this, trying to improve it, and I think there was just a duplicate.
Dor, do me a favor. Go back up just a little bit. Go to the link page. To the inner, no, right there, to the inner page, the second tab.
Yep, I'm there.
I'm sorry, I'm not seeing it on your screen. It still says links to home page.
Just give it a second.
Okay, there it is. So I see what you're saying, because there we're getting the anchor text.
Right. So
I got it.
So we, everybody, we continually work on these tools and improve these tools, and sometimes stuff like that happens. And we'll just note it to the programmer, and he will have it fixed by tomorrow. But in any case, this links to the inner page. You can see what the anchor text is, and it's about page, and all these pages are going to the about. So there's nothing, that looks wrong here. But, for a shortcut, I'm going to go and I'm going to look at my anchor metrics to make sure that there's not any Viagra's coming in. And the anchor metrics is beautiful. Absolutely stunning. This is a brand, PHP Anywhere is the brand. PHP Anywhere, 13%. Their URL. I mean, this is stuff you want to see. There's no real keywords here. So all these links are very legitimate. And don't anybody else buy this site. I'm going to go get it right now. Then everybody's going to know that I have it. So this would definitely be a winner to do a redirect from, and especially if you're in the technology industry. So yeah, awesome. I love that. So I think we've gone through the presentation, and we did it in just a little over 1 hour. And let's answer questions, because that was, in a nutshell, how and why we buy an age domain to either start a brand new site or direct it to a site that we already have, or use it in a personal blog network. And we're going to get into creating personal blog networks, PBNs, private blog networks. That's just not in this first step of the 7-step SEO. That actually comes in step number 7. But for you out there that are a little bit more advanced, you of course can start looking for sites for your PBNs, for your, because I'm going to suggest that everybody build a personal blog network and purchase sites like this and use sites like this to link from to your money site. Especially when it's your own, that is the safest way to do it. And what I would do, what the best thing to do, now I've not been able to do this in bulk, so I can't automate this process. I'm trying to go back to the Wayback Machine. Did I close that out? No, here it is. I was going back to that old site. Now, this is a little bit controversial. Going back to the old content and pulling that content and putting that back up on the web. So you're actually creating that site again. And of course, when I'm building thousands of sites, I can't do that. One, I've not found anybody who's been able to automatically scrape it. And two, that would be just too big of a liability for me using that as a public blog network. But for a personal blog network, I would absolutely do that. And if somebody contacted me and say, hey, we didn't want that up anymore, I would absolutely take it down. In fact, when I buy somebody's domain and they did not intend it to be expired, they didn't intend to let it go, back to them. I don't, because I'm buying it for SEO purposes, not personal purposes. And can you imagine if you lost your main website and somebody just held on to it? I've gotten a lot of calls saying, oh, you do this on purpose and you're holding it for ransom. And I'm like, no, really, I'm not. I'll give it back to you. Because, you know, $12 sometimes, $20, to me, it's like not big of a deal. Now, if I spent $500 or $1,000 on a site, yeah, I'll have them, you know, reimburse me for that. And I'll show them what I paid for it. But really, $20, I feel like it's good karma. That's my good karma policy to give it back to them. And some people, I've had people not believe me and hang up on me and then not get their site back because they just couldn't believe that I would give it back to them. You know, that somewhere there was a hook. Just find really funny. Anyway, side note there. But anyway, we're going to get into this when we talk about building PBNs and content on PBNs and things like that. And I just wanted to caveat that in case you guys are listening out there and you can start start building them. So I'll start putting actually up some demonstrations and working on that module to get up.
So Dory, can I know that we're supposed to be done. I've got quite a few questions. Can you take 10, 15 minutes and answer some questions?
Absolutely.
Okay, so first of all, Clint is pretty determined that SEO's dead and Google's going to find your PBN. He's pretty vocal about that. So do you want to talk about that at all, about your opinions and how all of that works?
Yeah. You know what? Google will probably find it sooner or later, and because it's a public blog network, and that's the difference between the two. I would not use a public blog network to link to my main money site. I would use it to link to YouTube, Amazon, any other authority sites that don't use. Facebook, Twitter. It's great temporary sites for launch jacking, for affiliate marketing, for also reputation management, where you can link it to Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn without any harm. And I have found, and I've also proven, that Google does monitor those sites. And anytime we've gotten de-indexed, rankings have never been lost. So there's a little bit of controversy on that. So I'm okay with it. And, you know, and with that being said, I'm going to tell you your best practice is use the public blog network to make your to shoot out to Web 2.0 properties, social properties, other authority sites. That's your safest bet, and those are the things that you should rank with it.
I'm gonna piggyback on that by saying that I agree to that. And if you have a site that's a money site or a brand site for a real business, when Dory's encouraging you to create your own private network, it is because you are in control of all aspects of the links, of the ratios, of the content that's on the sites, etc. And she'll get into that later. Dory, I'm going to hit you up with a couple of other questions that I just think are really important with this. People really would like to know, like on that actual site, the PHP Anywhere name that you just did all of that for, a couple of people are asking, what is the highest you would pay for a site of that quality? Since you went through that specifically for a newbie to see, what do you think that site is worth? Or what would be the max you would pay, and what is the average that you pay for sites like that?
This is saying it has a trust flow of 23 here now. I would probably pay $100 for it.
Okay, well that's a pretty blank answer. I mean, you know, good.
Now here is the thing. Usually there's a lot of sites available on FreshDrop that you can go looking for, and there's sites like this all over the place, and I could probably pick this up for $30. And, you know, and a lot of people have gone out of SEO, and so the competition's not as heavy as it used to be. You might even be able to get it for $20, and it's probably worth $100, you know, because it was a PR4. It's a beautiful site. The anchor metrics is beautiful. I've not been able to I wasn't able to see a current archive.org, but to me it looks really legitimate. Would be a perfect site for me to grab onto. Although, you know, a trust flow of 17 is really, really good. I think it said a trust flow of 23. I don't know why it's saying 23 here when it was 18 in our other report. We'll have to look at that. 23 is awesome. Now, if that's really the trust flow, then I would probably even pay a little. You know, that's really good. 17 is good. 5 to 10 is good. 10 to 20 is really good. Anything over 20 is excellent. And if you can get something in the 30s, consider yourself lucky.
Okay, we're going to do kind of like they do on those TV shows. I'm going to do some fast, rapid stuff to questions that are either yes, no, or just a few words. You ready?
Yeah.
Do you always use the who is privacy?
Never.
Want to talk about that any more than that?
Okay, so because I build thousands of sites out, and if I had the who is privacy on all of my sites and I was linking to one domain trying to push it up with all the sites using that privacy, that would be considered a red flag. So what we do is actually create different names for them, and I'm, you know, not a lawyer. I'm not telling you to do this or anything like that. So I do not use who has privacy on the majority of my domains, and I choose different names and cities and phone numbers and
yeah, and I'll hit that too. You know, on all of my sites, I'm pretty public, and I said that in the beginning when I did the beginners. I usually always just say who I am. If I'm building PBNs or doing something like that, I categorize those out. So
yeah, yes, I'm specifically talking for PBNs.
Yeah.
For a money site, I would totally use my own name.
So next thing.
I've never hidden it. I don't know why there's a reason to.
Okay, so link PBN
unless
to buffer.
Unless you're doing something really sneaky.
Link PBN to buffer sites than your money site. Clint came back and said exactly, you know, don't start selling your links. So I understand linking to PBN, then to your buffer sites, then to your money sites, but some people don't even understand a buffer, a tier, a Web 2.0. These are all lingos that you're just throwing out. So I would like you just to give like a 30, 40-second overview of what that means. Please, ma'am. Go.
Okay, so your money site is your main site. A Tier 1 site can also be a buffer site. That would be the site that's linking to your money site. A Tier 2 site would be one that's linking to your Tier 1 site or your buffer site. So a Tier 1 is either, it is the site that's linking to your money site, but it can also be called a buffer site. Because you can link, like you could go from a public blog network to a buffer site, and then your buffer site or your Tier 1 directly to your money site. And some people will go buffers way, you know, for layers. Now that's an advanced strategy.
And we're going to go over that.
Too much for this call.
Yeah, Keith is going to really hit that. Now, Patrick found a site. Listen to this story: 25 citation flow, 35 trust flow, but it's a foreign site from South Africa. It looks like it's an authority site from Archive. Would you still buy it, being that it's out of the country?
What's the TDL on it? Is it a .com still?
He didn't say. Yeah, he didn't say.
I would probably still buy it. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Some people ask if they could see some more good site layouts in the Wayback Machine. So I just want to say to everybody, Aaron in particular, all you need to do is go do the research, and when you go to Archive, you know, if you look up the Wayback Machine, it's going to take you there, and you can go look at as many examples as you want. So we're not going to do that on this
Yeah,
call.
she probably wants an example of what a spammy site would be, and the Wayback Machine obviously wasn't working because we couldn't even see it wasn't fully working, and I can do a video on that and do another demo and include that in this section.
Okay, great. Thanks, Dory. I'll remind you that you said that.
Yeah, I know you will.
Do you have any estimate on how much trust rank is passed from a link to a money site? So if you have a keyword that needs to have a trust rank of 20, how many links would it take?
That depends on the authority. It could take one link. If the site that it's getting a link from, maybe a news site that has a lot of authority from a page that has a lot of authority, that has a lot of trust. And, I'm not really certain of the algorithm behind how that all divides up, and I can only assume that it's working the same way as it did with PageRank. And if there were coming from a PageRank 4, one link, going to a site from a PageRank 4, made that site a PageRank 4. If there were 10 links going from that PageRank 4, it would usually pass, and then that site would only be a PageRank of 3, if that makes sense, and so on down the road. So if you had 100 links coming out of a site that had a PageRank of 4, they'd all probably be PageRanks of 2. So it disseminates like that, and I can only assume that trust would do the same thing.
We're at 17 minutes over. Richard, thank you for that question. I'm going to hit this one from Jared. Does the content of the age site matter when you're redirecting? That's the first question.
That's a really, really good question, and something that's probably worth testing. I think no, because I'm more black hattish than most people, and I wouldn't care what the content was. That's why sometimes I would still. Let's do this. Best practice, yes. Make sure that it is a site that had original content on it.
And I would take it a step further. I would make sure it had original content on it and it was in some sort of theme that you're linking to somewhere, whereas I know, Dory, you wouldn't give two flying you-know-whats, especially
right.
if you're
best practice
out,
is yes and yes.
Is age more important than trust flow, in your opinion?
No, I think trust is more important.
And what's the youngest site that you would recommend?
Well, see, if you go to the broker, he will buy sites that already dropped. So typically you're going to find more trust in age domains. And before there was trust in, there was PageRank, but Google did and has said in their algorithm they place value in age. They've not told us what that value is, but we do know that sites that used to have a lot of PageRank, now we look at trust flow or domain authority from Moz, we know that that works. So I would always take a site with good trust flow over age now.
Okay, Roger asked some really cool questions.
But here's the thing on that. You have to buy an age domain to get something that has trust, because if you buy a new domain, it has a 0.
That's right. Okay, so Roger, if they already have a website and they bought a link package before they knew not to do that, is it going to cause them problems, or is there a way to know if it is causing problems, and how would they get rid of those links?
Well, that depends on where they bought the link package and what the anchor text says. I have found that it's the anchor text that got people in trouble, not really where the link was coming from. So he would have to put his site into link density and look at his anchor metrics. If his anchor metrics show like 35% the main keyword, like for me in my olive oil, if it said gourmet olive oil, 35%, ooh, that would be pretty bad. And he would be, well, third to start over.
Yeah. Patrick, you know that South African site that I asked you about? It was a .ve site.
I don't know if we can buy those here. But if he's in South Africa and it has like that, I would certainly buy that. In fact, we probably should look for people that are in foreign countries that can buy sites like that for us, because those are kick-ass sites. kick butt site, sorry. So yeah, sites from all over the world. In fact, you know, what's not exploited and has never really been is foreign SEO. So if you were trying to rank something in South Africa, that would be perfect. In a lot of even foreign countries. We've been saying this for 10 years, and nobody, not that I know of, has really gone out there and done it.
Well, and a lot of people say, you know, that if you buy if you can buy an H domain, host it, you've got that trust flow, and you're linking to buffer sites, they automatically have so much that it's a great way to go because it really shows diversity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So, there was a question that said from a couple of people, can you get a glossary of the SEO terminology sometime? We have one in resources right here. SEO glossary right there. And we're pretty sure it's up to date, and if there's things we don't have, please, you know, let us know. So if you were to choose from the best barometer, what's the highest trust flow number you really want, and what's the minimum? The minimum is 5. The highest that I've ever purchased is probably 35. Because remember now, I'm purchasing sites in bulk. So if I can find something in the 30s, I am dancing on the you know, for a decent price, I am dancing on my desktop. And for the lowest, you'd be around 12, 16? Well, I typically tell my staff to buy nothing below 10, but you know, it depends. If I'm purchasing something like in a certain niche, then I would definitely go for a 5. You know, like if it was in some way, like if I found an olive oil site, even if it had a trust flow of 2, I'd probably buy it because, you know, there's just not that many olive oil sites. Because that's a niche. Okay, let's go on. Would you spend the money to buy the GoDaddy Domain Club? Yes, absolutely. Yes, I am a member of that also. Yeah, I have been since 2003. How come you didn't give any attention to citation flow? And I just want to answer that really quick because she doesn't care about citation flow, Claude. But I just want to tell you that I value citation flow so much more than trust flow if I'm looking for a local site with a local niche that has local citation juice. So if I'm buying something in Seal Beach and I find something that has citation with that theme, that's when I look at citation flow, all for local markets. And this is absolutely why multiple people teaching these courses is preferred, because I would have said, who gives a crap about citation, because I don't do anything local. You know, so that really goes to show you why it takes a village, because what Ann just said is really powerful, that citation flow can be used in when you're doing local, where I would have went, oh, yeah, you know, I don't want a high citation flow because I'm doing things that are more national, and I think, you know, citation is more links, and I want a higher trust flow than citation. So for a national keyword, the lower the citation, the better for me. Okay, two or three questions about Class C. I don't think people understand IP addresses, Class C, and the relevance of the links. And if you could go over that, and also why you did not choose that as a search criteria in your filter when you looked for a domain. So just kind of do a Class C overview real quick. So I did pick a Class C as a filter. And, okay, so when a host buys IPs, and every site has an IP address. It's just kind of like your home address. And a host will come along and say, okay, I'm going to host the site. And the powers that be sell IP classes, Class Cs in a block of 256. So that's like, okay, a contractor comes in and builds a community. So say you had all these votes for a politician just from one community. You would know that something's kind of skewed there, you know. So if all your links are coming from the same C class or the same community,
they don't mean as much. It looks spammy. It looks like something's going on. And so that's the best analogy I can say. You know, it's like your home address or a community, a developer, you know, when a developer develops a community. There's 256 of them for a host. So what this is telling Google, if it's a different C class, a different community, that it's coming from a different server or a different part of that district, you know, a different part or a different city or something like that. I hope that is a good analogy and simple.
I think it is, and I know that when Stephen made the link density videos, he kind of goes over that kind of almost in, you know, a very similar way. So let's just talk about a couple of things. Somebody asked a question, will this work for e-commerce? So if I'm selling golf clubs and I want to buy golf clubs, would I then have to buy an age domain with a name that has something to do with golf? And I just want to hit this really quick because I already know your answer, Dory. But I just want to come back. There's a million ways to skin this cat. 50% of the people would say you have to have golf content. It's great to use that in the name. It's great to look at what the links are in relation. And Dory is not in that 50%. So there's not a right answer to this. But Dory, your way to do it would be what?
Well, I would have to say best practice. If you could absolutely get something that's golf related, then by all means do that and spend more money doing that. I've just had success of not having related domains and just sending the juice over to the site, even ranking sites. And I have done, you know, case study after case study where I'll show a site that's ranking for a huge term that has nothing to do with that. I think one of the latest ones, and I'll talk about this one now because, well, no, let's not even go into that. So there is example after example, but best case scenario, you know, go with the golf content if that's what you're going to, you know, but you're just going to have a harder time finding it. And I seem to yes, I wouldn't care.
Okay, so Dory, you and I have talked about our friend that talks about bringing sites out of penalties. Aaron's asking about if there's any way for anybody who's ever suffered penalties to be able to be done someplace. Have you heard back from him, and is he going to do that? And
yeah, we are. Well, we are going to deliver that to the people that were on that call. Okay. And getting out of penalties is way beyond the scope of this.
Okay, so but
step one.
But okay, great. Maria, hi Maria, asked for some people who really are learning the terminology, is there a way that we could have the glossary be a PDF that's downloadable?
Yeah, we could probably do that.
Okay, let me make a note of that, and then we'll do that. Roy, who just asked a really cool question, he made me smile because he said, "Hey, what do you think about making a mechanism for members on where they could, let's see, how about creating a mechanism for members like analyzing expired sites, purchase and sell them to other members in POE, like a marketplace?"
I think that's a great idea, actually, and I was going to start doing that as well. I was going to start buying sites that I think are great and sell them for what I bought them for, you know, to this community, of course. And you guys could probably go into doing that and selling them, you know, for whatever you can get for them. But so absolutely, we might even be able to create something, you know, like a menu item where the community can buy and sell stuff, or it could be a forum in the forum.
Yeah, so that's
a great idea. Great idea. Another way to make money too.
Yeah, I'm gonna put in there somehow marketplace, and we'll revisit that off this call. Let's see.
Because, you know, there are some people that love to do this, like me, and there's other people that just hate it. But, you know, I'm an introvert. I love this kind of stuff. And you probably couldn't sit here for 2 minutes doing it, could you?
I would. I pay people to do this.
That's right.
So Daryl, who was with Erock and I on our local Rockstar, I can't wait till we release that module. But anyway, Daryl asked and wanted to say that we have to be aware of anchor text percentages And I know that you did it really quickly, but I want to just acknowledge Daryl and just say, hey, bro. And yes, we do have to be aware of that. And Dory created a tool to really walk through that. So that's a really cool thing. She went over it really quickly, but we'll go through that a little more.
We did look at the anchor metrics to this site here, and that's why it was so beautiful. There was really no money keywords coming into the site for the majority of it. It was brand and URL, which is really what I love to see.
Okay, can you change the name of an H domain or any domain once it's registered?
No.
Okay, so criteria for picking the name.
Now, you can change the title of it. I mean, you can say, okay, I'm buying phpanywhere.net and then make it a golf site. You can say golfanywhere.net on the title, but the URL, the domain name will never change.
Yeah. So Tim was asking, is there any criteria for picking the name of the domain, or is it relevant? Does the name have anything to do with your product or service that you're selling? And I think we've covered that, but do you want to hit it again?
Yeah, best practices is yes, and I typically don't care.
A couple of people are talking about using the network to rank for launch jacking, and I know you want everybody to get the tools, and we're finishing all that up. So I just want to say, Claude, it will be coming live sooner than later, but we still have some things that have to be handled first. I just wanted to answer that. And Dagoberto Rodriguez, what a cool name. He is somehow, either you showed a tool someplace, but he wants to know how this applies to Amazon. And to me, this is like the Amazon perfection way to talk about how to rank Amazon in Google. So especially with developing links. But did you show a tool that I'm unaware of?
For Amazon pages?
Yeah.
What we did for Amazon is that we reverse engineered the page that was ranking, and then we just made sure that we were doing better than that. And you can definitely use a public blog network for that, and that's how we rank.
Yes, but you did that not in Amazon. You did that in Google for Amazon, and you talked about reverse engineering, which is what you just showed. So I just want Roberto to understand that it wasn't a tool. It was exactly what she just showed.
Yeah, it was link density where we did the reverse engineering.
Yeah.
And then we posted to it. So, and that was my presentation number 2, I think.
Yeah. Are you going to put those up for people to see?
Yeah, we should do that, because that was actually, if I say so myself, a hot shit presentation.
Yeah, it was. Okay, Dory, I think we're coming to an end here. I want to stop with Sheila asked a question really quick. Can you transfer registrar? So if you bought outside of GoDaddy, can you transfer it in? Sheila, you can, but you're going to lose the age. That's why she buys in GoDaddy.
Actually, if you wait 90 days, are you sure that you lose the age?
If you bring it into GoDaddy, yeah, it's like a new domain. Well, okay, let me not say that.
Not if you've registered it somewhere else. It's going to lose the age if you bought it somewhere else. I mean, the who is age, and like I said, people can argue back and forth on that. Gene, if it's a who is, we don't know for sure, because none of us really know what Google does. We've just done enough tests to think, okay, this is, but on how much on either, we don't know. But yes, you can. If you started it and you bought it in 2015, you have to wait 90 days to be able to transfer it out of that registrar. So that 90-day age would probably still retain itself.
And do you ever use Scrapebox to check the closeout section of GoDaddy?
I never use Scrapebox because I use FreshDrop to check the close. I know a lot of people that do use Scrapebox and have good success with it.
Okay, I think that's it for now. We got as many of them as we could. We've got our notes. Thank you, everybody, for attending. We'll get this up for everybody to get a replay. And if there's any questions that you're asking that isn't on there, please just put it in the form. We'll try to get to it. And there you have it.
Yeah, I'll be watching that forum pretty good. I mean, there's a lot of management stuff I'm doing too as well, but I'm going to be in there as much as I possibly can in the step 1 part, for the boot camp stuff, answering your questions.
And as I'm
about buying domains, so please keep them to about buying domains, because we're going through step by step, and we'd really like to keep it tailored just to this section for this week.
Yeah, and Gregory Sparks, I'm seeing your question. Please ask me on Facebook or put it in support. We'll get that to you. Let's see here. Ken, I can't put up what you just said, so I don't know I can't do that. Thank you, Lindy and Samurai, and there you go. Okay, guys, talk to you later.
Okay, awesome. Bye.
Bye.
Dory out.